way either!
What's that old expression? You mess with the bull, you get the horns. It's time for day 5 of the 8 days of prey, and today we are looking at the Predacon Tantrum. Or is that Torox? On the back of the box, all of the Predacons retain their G1 names except for Tantrum, who is now referred to as Torox, registered trademark. And while I'm not 100% sure on that, I did a Google search and I do believe that Mattel now owns the trademark for toys on the name Tantrum. So even though he's officially known as Torox now, I'm sure he'll always be Tantrum to longtime Transformers fans. And for this video, I'll be referring to him as Tantrum. This is part of the 8 Days of Prey, Power of the Prime's Predaking series, Patreon special missions request, courtesy of good brother Michael Choi. And this set is still available at Big Bad Toy Store. So if you saw the Headstrong review for this guy right here, Predaking's other leg, you're going to have some deja vu here because this guy seems very similar in design to Headstrong. And he has the least amount of stickers to apply, so let's do that right now. Stickers are all applied, and thank heaven for Tantrum. I'm still exhausted after putting on all of Dive Bomb's stickers, so this is the perfect guy. I didn't plan this out this way, but it just kind of worked out this way. Perfect guy to sticker last of the Predacons because he just has 4 stickers. He's got 2 on his legs, those really nice shiny chrome style stickers, and then, well, they say put them on when he's in his bull mode, but you can put it on when he's in his robot mode. Just Decepticon symbols on the sides. The original G1 version had a big sticker on his chest. This time it's a paint application on his chest. Thank goodness it is, because you get to see all of the wonderful detail in the chest that was just sticker detail on the original one. So you get this really nice grate. Great, not G-R-E-A-T, G-R-A-T-E. Great grating detail with a bolt there and beautiful detail. Perfect Decepticon symbol painted on, not stickered on, so you're not going to have to worry about putting on a crooked Decepticon sticker. When you look down here, this is the G1 style of detail. It's not a flat surface, so you have this warbling going on here because of the detail underneath. I don't know why, if there was going to be a sticker there, they didn't just leave it blank, or maybe they decided later on that they wanted to break it up a bit with a sticker. But it's a nice sticker. It's just, especially when it's so shiny and chrome, it really shows all of the detail underneath that's making it not flat. And he looks a lot like his G1 self. This guy does not have any stickers on him, but the G1 version does have a very similar detail on the chest there. The Power of the Primes version doesn't come with a sword, and that's pretty much what I figured. Just like with Headstrong, if you take the G1 sword and put it in his hand, it looks okay, but it feels a little smallish just because this guy is so beefy. So hopefully the third-party upgrade kit will have a more appropriate sword. Coloration, same as the other Predacons. A lot of deja vu going on here. This is not a bright orange. It's more of like a matte reddish orange. Doesn't pop as nicely as this original G1. The reds are very close though. The faces are very similar. Yellow coloration on the face, that's been retained. with black horns and yellow eyes as well. We'll get to that in bull mode though. The G1 version has the big giant Popeye gray forearms, and they're doing the same thing with Tantrum here that they did with Headstrong. They're trying, because it's a different transformation, they're trying to give you the coloration of the G1 versions. Any parts on the original that were gray, which are just 4 parts, the forearms and these little things on the sides of the legs, if they were gray on the original, they've been painted silver on the new one. So silver fists, which is nice for a bigger, more modern, updated version, and then silver on the sides of the legs also, which is kind of a similar design. This almost seems like they've turned it the other way around, but it's still close enough. Well, that doesn't go like that. We'll get to that in a second with the transformation. But a nice, faithful update. Red feet on the original guy. Not red feet on the updated version. They're that orangey red plastic. And not much similarity on the back. The original one has a little bit of bull kibble on his back, while the updated version has the same thigh that Headstrong had, this ginormous thigh. It has this nice yellow paint application on it, which is nice because that yellow goes with that yellow, which goes with that yellow. It's one of the basic rules of art. A little bit of repeating color that creates unity in a piece of art. There is no yellow on the other side, it's only on one side. And checking Headstrong, it looks like he has that same yellow coloration, which I didn't mention in his review. Articulation is exactly like Headstrong. His head can do a 360. Same articulation in the shoulders. This one's really stiff. He's got that same funky, like bicep. It's a bicep bend. He's got great elbow bend. Nothing in the fists. The elbows swivel. That is so wild, this bicep bend for bull mode, I guess. And same deal as Headstrong. He can swivel at the waist, but this thing gets in his way, so you have to detach it, and then he can do a full 360. And just like Headstrong, if you straighten his knees out, he kind of wants to just drop like that. And same amount of splits as Headstrong. But he requires a bent-kneed sumo stance if you're going to stand him up. And when you do bend those knees, he is pretty sturdy. Same gap in the leg as Headstrong. Look at my leg! Foot pivot, ankle pivot. So you can get him a really nice wide-legged stance, especially cool for a bull. Look at this pose right here. Isn't that awesome? Especially nice for a bull who's all about charging people. That looks very powerful, and it's also very sturdy too, despite the giant thigh on his back. He's not going to fall over. And since this is becoming, I guess, a recurring thing with the videos that I do, see how the foot pops up off exactly like Headstrong, right in the same spot too. This seems to be a recurring thing. I don't know why I like doing this with every single Transformer, but this is Sparta! He's got no problem whatsoever. Super sturdy, standing on one foot, kicking the other foot out. In fact, he's got more options than most figures trying to do this, because you can actually bend his knee a little bit to get a little bit more range. That's too bent. But even with the knee bent one click, he's still given a really powerful Spartan kick to his former self. This is Sparta! And just like with Headstrong, you can give him one of Predaking's feet. It's got a post right here, which it was really tight on Headstrong. It's really tight on this one too. Same thing, he can hold it, but he can't hold it up. And he can't, well, he gets a little closer to, if he's using this foot with this thing that flips out this way, he can almost touch that thing, but it's not enough. There's not enough friction in this joint either to hold it up. The way it's really supposed to be designed is you take it and you slide this gap. It's got the exact same type of lip right here on his shoulder that you can just shimmy in like so on one side or on the other. I guess if you can pop this up like that to be some sort of a trigger or a handle. And he's still very sturdy, just like Headstrong. This is basically Headstrong with a slight remold. It's like G1 Prowl and Blue Streak and Smokescreen. Same transformer with a different shell. And that looks cool too. Super powerful cannon. And I'm guessing it's the same type of powerful blast that Headstrong had. Let's give it a try. Oh, okay, I guess it's more like Rampage's gun. Transformation is a breeze, just like Headstrong. Both arms get straightened out, turned, and then pushed into the sides of the body, like that. Head gets turned around, and the thigh from Predaking just stays where it is. The feet get separated on both sides. It's just this one little peg that attaches. I've got a bit of a stress mark in one of mine, right in there. So that's not a sturdy enough joint to be holding a foot and an entire leg and an entire heavy, beefy transformer. So that is what it is. And the legs, let's move this thigh out of the way to give us a little bit of room here. And then these kind of ape feet looking things will fold back to form the bull's back, like that. See these posts right here, these pegs will feed into the holes on the feet. Just press right in there, and you don't really even need instructions for this guy. He's very G1-esque. You can figure it out as you go. Press these things in. You hear a click. He's got some bull feet, bull legs, hind legs, hidden in these rhino panels. Even though he's a bull, they look more like rhino paneling to me. Take the thigh, push it back, squeeze it, and then when you're done, just like to take the whole thing and just squeeze it and make sure nothing is out of joint. And that is Tantrum, aka Torox, in bull mode. And he's a little crooked, so I have misaligned something somewhere. This thing right here, this little tab, needs to be pushed all the way in on both sides. And when you do that, he stands straight on all four legs. You got Tantrum in bull mode, and I love it. And he's a great homage to his G1 self right here. A little bit of different coloration going on here or there, but still very similar. There's enough similarities that it looks like an update of the G1 version. I like that the yellow paint on the side has been recreated right there. The sculpting on these joints right up here look the same, just in silver this time. Just like with Headstrong, the front legs are black instead of red like on the original one. And very similar from above too. Heads are very similar. But what isn't similar is This guy has a little bit more articulation, just a little bit. Like with Headstrong, he can separate the legs out, no ankle pivot. You know we've really arrived with Transformers articulation when they start putting ankle pivots in guys like this, not just Masterpiece, but like a Power of the Primes level or Siege or Earthrise level ankle pivots for the animal modes. But just a little bit of range right there. If you pull it out, I gotta be really careful here. I don't want another Wookiee moment. If you pull it out and separate it from the body, you can actually give him a little bit of forward motion. And then there's that weird bicep bend. So you can give him an even more... It's kind of unnatural looking, but it's a nice option to have him with his head pointed down a little bit, because that's what bulls are all about, right? They're all about putting their head down and doing the whole getting ready to charge thing. So I love that the back leg has this bend in it, a knee bend, so you can do that. You can actually have him kicking the ground and getting ready to charge an Autobot. And one point of articulation he does not have, and this is really weird, the mouth doesn't move. Doesn't that look like it's supposed to open? There's a little pin in there. That looks like a separate piece of plastic, the top part and the bottom part. It's like his jaw has been wired shut. If that could just open up, that would be so cool. So it's just weird that it is a separate piece. It doesn't even look like it's a separate piece. It is a separate piece. There's a gap in there. You can see the gap right there in the mouth. But it does not open. So close, yet so far. And the Jin Bao Tantrum, just like with Headstrong, he's this really overly articulated. He does have a little bit of that ankle pivot I was talking about. Look how nice that is. Just gives him more of a sturdy base instead of that. So that's cool, but a little bit more cat-like or spider-like than bull-like. And I do prefer this version over the Feral Rex. And this whole time I've been looking at Tantrum and Bull mode, he has reminded me so much of this guy, Mumbo Jumbo, from the Silverhawks galaxy. So I'll throw that dream fight out there for anyone who likes these crossover dream battles. Who would win in a fight between Headstrong, I don't know if I can get this guy down on all fours, Headstrong and Mumbo Jumbo when they hook 'em horns? And if fighting's not your thing, if you're more of a pacifist, then you can use the horns instead to hang up some laundry. So that's Power of the Primes Tantrum, who I may have called Headstrong a few times in this review because they are so similar. And that is all of the Power of the Primes Predacons. So the next one is going to be combining them all into one of the coolest Transformers combiners ever, Predaking. Thank you, Patreon Tribe, for providing the channel Patreon Power. A warm welcome to newest member Joshua Moyer, who joins the elite rank of General, and a shout out to all the other General level supporters on Patreon. Adam Hurt, Adrian Stinnison, Andrew Culver, Brad Hughes, David Wendt, Eric Griffin, Jake Sales, James Russell, Krishna Mirja, Kryvak, Michael Choi, Michael McTighe, Nick Filippelli, and Sean Fuster. Thank you, and thank everyone on Patreon for your support and encouragement. Feel free to share the video, leave your own bunch of bull in the comment section below, and to join the tribe, hang your hat on subscribe, partner. Nerdmas Day.